Yo, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy MidPokeMaster here today with a brand new league, the PMU. So this is a Gen 7 Wi-Fi league that me and my friends are doing. PMU has been going strong for 9 seasons now. So it's usually a Gen 6 league, it's a meta that, you don't really get to see anymore, and it's, a lot of fun, to try something that you don't always see or you'd see on upload on YouTube or played. But this season, we decided to do a little bit of Gen 7. We all had a little bit of nostalgia with it. It's been a while. It's just, after just doing Gen 8 for so long, we wanted to, just switch it up and wanted to play some Gen 7. So, before we get any further, don't forget to like and subscribe and click that bell in the top right corner if you want a notification whenever I upload. Around 60 to 70% of the people that watch my videos are currently not subscribed. So obviously make sure to subscribe, as I've said already, as it shows a massive amount of support and you want to see more of these Wi-Fi leaks, maybe even some future more Gen 7 Wi-Fi leaks, because honestly I'm having a lot of fun with it. So a lot of people have already uploaded their draft analysis in a few weeks of the season. This is not upload required, so it's fine that I'm doing this late or not at the same time. It's, I've just been busy with a lot of schoolwork and stuff like that. Obviously it's just excuses. But yeah, so we have 16 coaches and it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm gonna leave them down below in the description, just so I know not everybody's uploading, but the people that have YouTube channels will be in the description, so please go check them out. I know Liv is uploading, Grandmaster D-Ray and OG Albino are. I believe Kurt the Buzzwole is too. I'm not sure about anybody else, so if I'm forgetting anybody, I'm sorry. Actually, 6 Foot Hacks is uploading, and so is, I can't think of their name, Trexo. So that's 6 or 7 people that are uploading. So yeah, so I got second pick out of 16th, which is amazing. You basically get any mon you want. There's one good mon that's gonna be taken before you, but realistically you get every mon you want, any kind of mon you want, plus you basically get a wheel, which is always super useful. So obviously, since it's Gen 7, stuff like Coco is very good, top of the meta. There's Mew. We get megas. I can get a mega, because I had Mega Gallade in IBA when we did that Gen 7 League over the summer, and I loved it. I could have got Mega Lop. OG Albino took Mega Alakazam first overall, just because it's a mon that you'll never get to use in Gen 8, just because how broken it is. I could have used Zardex, my baby. I wanted to try Mega Beedrill, honestly, or Mega Venusaur. There's so many cool different megas that I wanted to use. And there's just so many cool megas in this, but obviously I didn't get a first round mega. When Owen took Mega Alakazam, it pretty much, determined what I wanted to get with my round 1 pick, and that is Tapu Koko. So we only get one Z-move captain, throughout this, in my entire draft, and I drafted accordingly. So, if you get more than one, you usually try to draft 2 really good Z captains. Since we only got one, I probably got one of my favorite Zmon captains, and just probably, if not arguably, if just not, it is the best mon in the Gen 7 format. Base 130 speed, with that electric terrain making your electric moves, power base 1.5 more. In Gen 8 that got nerfed to 1.3, but this is still very good. And we have hidden power, so stuff like Lando and Gliscor can't hard wall us, because I can just click HP Ice. This mod is just very good, base 130 speed, blistering fast, outspeeds almost the entire metagame. If they are not holding a choice scarf, this mod can be set up with Calm Mind, Thunderbolt, Dazzling Gleam, Grass Knot, hidden power. It can just be a strong wall breaker with choice specs, with pivoting with Volt Switch and U-turn. It's one of the electric types that gets dual pivots, so I don't have to worry about a ground type coming in and absorbing my electric type Volt Switch. And, it's just a very good fairy type, just being fast and being able to revenge those dragons before they can set up. And just making it to where those dragons, can't just come in and lock, Outrage or Dragon Claw with a Choice Scarf or a Choice Band. But this one is easily one of the best ones in the meta. I've had it a few times. I know I had it in the one PMC season I was in, and I won a championship with it. And I had it in, what was Brendan's league? like the IBO. I had it, didn't do amazing, but obviously I still had a lot of fun with it. It's just such a good mon, and you can put on any team and it'll do work. It's, this mon I'm very comfortable with. It's my playstyle, fast and momentum out, and just do a lot of damage and bring in like wall breakers or walls themselves. So this mon, can be taunt, roost, it literally can just do anything you want in a mon, and I'm super excited to use it. So since I'm second pick, I had to wait, for the 14 picks in round 1, and then all the way back to the 14 more picks in round 2. So my next one I'm super excited to use. I got Tier 2 Scizor. And Gen 7 Scizor, is either like a low Tier 1 or a high Tier 2, but luckily in this league they made it Tier 2, which has made it that much more for me to want to draft it, just because I love Scizor and it pairs very well with Koko. Koko really struggles with like grass types, and Scizor can deal with those very well, being able to come in on almost all of them if they don't click HP Fire. I can U-turn out, I can SD as they switch out, and it has a base 130 attack, so Choice Band Bullet Punch can just rip through teams, especially late game. Like, I have everything weakened into range of, a Choice Band Bullet Punch and just just destroy. Nothing really likes to switch into this thing besides like, very bulky like Steel types or Fire types. The Steel types had to be careful of Superpower. But this mon can honestly just wall break and win games by itself, just because with its Stab, Technician, Bullet Punch, coming off a base 130 attack, as I've said, hits super hard. It can also be defensive with like Roost and Defog. So I believe Koko gets Defog this gen, so that's already 2 Defoggers. I don't really want to run Defog on Koko, but obviously I can if I have to. I will if I have to, I mean. But this mon is just very, can be very defensive while also hitting super hard with the Choice Band. Can also be a good Choice Scarf user, to get those fast U-turns. And, it can be SD. I can even be like Curse, to raise my attack and defense. And, just try to outbolt mons. But just hitting mons with Choice Band, Bug Bite, U-turn, Bullet Punch sounds very good, especially for Koko that, I have pivoting momentum with both of these mons. So that just makes them even better, just because I can, just spam U-turn and Volt Switch and just hit everything for super hard damage, because they hit very hard with both their stabs. So Owen, he already took his Mega, so at this point I already figured out what Mega I wanted to use. But I waited till round 3 because Owen already had his, and I could have seen him take Scizor because I know he likes it. And paired with Mega Alakazam, that's always, a very good combo, getting pivots into it, slow pivoting mons into it. So next up, I have a Mega I honestly don't think I've ever used before. And honestly, originally I was kind of, I didn't really know. But after talking to Liv, she was like, this is the better choice, because originally I wanted Zardex with this, just because I love Zard. And I've really only been playing Gen 8 for like the past 2 months. I haven't played any, showdown leagues, so I can't really use Megas. But in this, I almost picked up Zard just because I love Koko Zard, Zard breaks the bulky grass types for Koko, and Koko breaks the bulky waters for Zard. And Electric Train Thunder Punches at +1 with my Zard, hits a lot of water super hard, and just kind of invalidates them. But I got a mon that, it's just very standard to have with Koko, and that is Mega Medicham. So I have 2 pivoting options into this. This one is just absolutely insane. A great wall breaker. The only mons that really wall this are bulky fairies and bulky psychics. What do I have that beats both of those? I have a Scizor. But this one, even against those, bulky psychics and bulky fairies, I can have Poison Jab for the fairies and Double Edge for the psychics. So that just already hits them super hard, completely invalidates them. Not invalidates them, but even making this one's designated switch-ins, very limited. Especially when, I can just hit super hard, I can get rocks up, get spikes up, and, just make it even harder for them to switch out. And when I have mons, when Koko and Scizor can both pivot into this mon, and, I can, let's say I'm in with Scizor and my opponent has an Arcanine, I U-turn out as they come in, and I bring in, Mega Medicham, Intimidate's already gone, it hits Scizor. So now I can just spam high jump kick and, claim a kill, because that's what this mon does. It comes in after you pivot out with the mon, and it just clicks high jump kick or whatever move you want, Drain Punch, Zen Headbutt, Bullet Punch, Fake Out. It gets all the punches, so I can even be like bulk up, recover, like defensive, you know, try to set up and just win with this mon. But Mega Medicham is a mon that I've never tried. I've always had problems facing it, but I want to try something new. I could have got Zard, but I've ran that mon a lot and people know I love it, so I just wanted to get Mega Medicham as I've said, it's a mon I've never tried and I think can fit my playstyle, especially with Coco Scizor. So I had to wait another basically like 28 picks to get this next mon, and I was surprised to see it still there. Gengar was here. So I did to my, you know, free points, you know, you get 400 points, you know, for 4 mons, you know, tier 1's 180 points, tier 2's 120, tier 3's 100, tier 4 is 60, and tier 5 is 40. And, you know, based off your mega, you can gain points, but I got a tier 1 mega, so I don't. But Gengar is a mon that I love. I had it in GDL Season 2, and it was just absolutely broken. Not broken, but, you know, it's just such an strong offensive threat. I can just put in the finest of work, you know. I wanted another special breaker. You know, I wanted a special breaker to pair with my physical breaker in Mega Medicham. Coco won't always be a breaker, but Gengar can be. Because sometimes Coco wants to be the one come with like Calm Mind Roost. But Gengar can come in, and Ghost types are just very good. Pursuit is in the game this generation, so that's obviously something I have to think about when I, you know, play with Gengar. But Gengar, you know, with the Ghost, Ghost, Poison coverage, it also beats Mega Medicham's checks being Bulky Psychic and Bulky Fairies. So that's just something I was super excited about, as I can just come in and, you know, put in a lot of damage. This one I believe has like a base of 130 attack. It's 130 attack with base 110 speed. So right now I have very good speed tiers, you know, hitting 130 with Coco, 110 with Gengar, and 100 with Mega Medicham. And, you know, just Ghost Stab is always very good. Dark types are incredibly pressured on my draft so far. With, you know, actually, I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking of Dark types, but I meant Ghost type. I don't really know what I'm saying. But Gengar, you know, is just a very good offensive threat paired with all these other threats. And it gives me, you know, a Ghost type, so, you know, like a spin blocker if I go a hazard stacking route. Or, you know, just a grounded poison for, you know, to absorb T-Spikes. I'm not super T-Spike weak because I have Scizor and I have 2 Defog Mons. But it doesn't hurt to have, you know, that grounded poison just so my opponents don't look at my team and like, oh, he doesn't have a grounded poison. I'm going to lead T-Spikes turn 1. You know, just to pivot down this team. So Gengar, you know, I think fits super well here. I think it's just a mon I'm very comfortable with. A lot of these mons I'm very comfortable with being Coco, Scizor, Gengar. And I think that's really going to help me out since I know how to use his mons and I'm very comfortable and they're very fitting in my playstyle. You know, just pivoting out, seeing what my opponent's checks are, and you're just coming in with a very strong wall breaker and just, you know, pivoting down my opponent's team, just breaking it down. So Owen got his next 2, and then we got the boy Mamoswine. Whenever you have Coco, you want to get a good ground type so your opponents can't sweep you with their electric types. You know, obviously, so because they get the advantage from your electric types too. That's something you want to be careful about. So I wanted to get one of the better ground types, and Mamoswine was there, which, you know, this is not a mon I use very often. It's usually a mon that I usually forget that is there. I love Piloswine. I've had it in BBR this season, and it was just an absolute beast. So Mamoswine is looking like it's going to be fire for me. You know, base 130 attack, 80 speed tier, so that even helps out my speed tiers even more. Because now I go 130 with Coco, 110 Gengar, 100 Mega Medicham, 80 with Mamo, and 65 with, you know, Scizor. So obviously there's still a few holes, but, you know, 5 rounds in, I have a very offensive team. It gives me my first Stealth Rocker. Ice and ground coverage is very hard to switch into because your normal idea for switching into ground types is grass types, but obviously I have the Icicle Crash, and your first idea for switching into ice moves is like water types, but they do not appreciate a Life Orb Earthquake in the slightest. So this, you know, is another very good wall breaker. I'm very interested to see how I do with it, as it's not been like a mon I've used very often. But, you know, just setting up Stealth Rocks as I force out a switch is always super useful. And just, you know, Earthquake, Icicle Crash, Ice Shard can, you know, just obliterate teams on its own, as most teams really just don't have a switch into that, and it just does so much damage to literally everything on the team. Most teams do not have a mod that doesn't get 2 KO'd by like Bandit or Life Orb. So I'm super excited to use it. As I said before, I've never really used it before. But I think on this team with a lot of pivoting, you know, I have 3 mods that can pivot with Coco, Scizor, Mega Medicham with Baton Pass. So this mod I think just fits very well with my playstyle. So I waited around like another 28 picks and I got Noivern. This is a mod I had, I can't remember when I had this. I think it was NCP Season 3. And it's a mod I was very comfortable with. You know, it's that base 123 speed tier. I didn't really think that speed tier was necessary, but I wanted, you know, a fast dragon, as a lot of the, you know, bulky setup dragons were gone. I want to say that was a little bit faster. I wanted another defogger. So like after 3 months now that can defog, none of them really appreciate it. But it's not like I'm Brock's weeks or Hazard Stack week at this point. But this mod, you know, it's just very fast. Gives me, you know, a mod that can just come in and spam Draco Meteor. As, you know, this team really offensively pressures fairy types very well. Between Scizor and Gengar, you know, just offensively killing them. And Mega Medicham, you know, picking Poison Jump usually does more than half. And, you know, it gives me a, you know, ground immunity. You know, with this being a flying type, it's based like 123 speed. And, you know, Taunt and Roost Super Fang is always very good. You know, it just hits super hard. And as I said, can also be extremely defensive if I need it to be. So, Noivern, not much to say, gives me a 4 times weakness to ice, so you know, it kind of counteracts the 4 times fire weakness with Scizor, making my opponents choose their hidden powers they bring, as that is in the game. So, Noivern is just a mod I'm kind of interested in. I really didn't know what else to pick, as anything I wanted I could wait on, so I just wanted to pick a mod that maybe wouldn't come back. So, you know, Owen picks, and then we got Miltank. I wanted another Stealth Rocker. So Mamoswine wasn't forced to run it every week. It gives me a normal type, so ghost types can't just come in and, you know, spam, you know, like a True Spec Shadow Ball or whatever they want to click. So I think Miltank's a mod I'm very comfortable with. You know, it's tier 4 for a reason. It's, you know, comes in, you know, click Stealth Rocks, it can Mill Shrink up, it can Heal Bell, you know, get rid of those statuses, it can Toxic. It gets Seismic Toss, so you can't, you know, just set up subs on it and set up. It has 2 great abilities with 1 okay one. It has Sap Sipper, so it gives me a grass immunity, which you'll see later on why that is useful. It gets Thick Fat, so it makes it resistant to fire and ice types, which, you know, gives me like a Victini answer if they're not special Victini. And then Scrappy is pretty good. You know, like not the greatest for Miltank, but if I'm like Seismic Toss and like they have a ghost type, I can always run that, or like Body Slam, you know, try to get pairs on those ghost types. So for tier 4, I felt like this one was amazing value. It's something I've used multiple times and I've always enjoyed using, because, you know, you get what you paid for out of it. It's not a mod you get any more or any less out of. You just click your Stealth Rocks, your Toxics, you know, you just spam Seismic Toss for a little bit and you go down. That's all you need. So yeah. So, you know, we waited another like 24 picks or whatever it is, and I got a Seismitoad. The fact that this mod was here in round 8 was insane to me, as Seismitoad is something that goes like round 2, round 3, and Gen 8 now. Obviously entirely different metagame, but I love Seismitoad. I love Double Grounds when I have a Coco. I just think Double Grounds is very good, as, you know, electric types this gen have the hidden powers to beat their ground type check, so, you know, having double ground types and giving me a 4 times weakness to grass is actually kind of useful, as I'm not weak to grass types at all. Between the only 2 mods I have that are weak to that grass types are Seismitoad and Mamo, but I have a Scizor that 4 times resist, Noivern that 4 times resist, and I have Sap Sipper and Miltank, so it's not like grass is like ultimately destroy me. And they're always offensively pressured between Scizor, Gengar, and Noivern, so Seismitoad, you know, gives me a bulky water type. It's not resistant to ice like you normally want your water type to be, but between Thick Fat Miltank and, you know, Scizor, I think I'm fine, and even Mamoswine. So this one just, you know, can be very defensive. You know, gives me another Stealth Rocker, so I just wanted, you know, another designated Stealth Rocker, as those are very good this gen. You know, gives me another ground type, gives me a Water Absorb mod. So, you know, obviously my opponents can't just bring like a Vaporeon and just spam Scald. So that's obviously super useful. You know, this mod can hit pretty hard with, you know, Earthquake, Scald, Earth Power. It gets knockoff for utility. So this one is just very good. It's like Miltank, you get what you pay for out of it. And this one just does every job it needs to. So we have 3 picks left. So next up, I got Shiinotic. There was just nothing in Tier 5 that looked viable in my opinion. Shiinotic was the best one. You know, gives me a grass type I didn't have. Gives me a secondary fairy type just because I felt like that was with Coco. You usually want a little bit bulkier fairy type, as Coco isn't the bulkiest fairy. Like Hackers can, you know, just come in and set up a DD and still click Poison Jab or Earthquake and kill you. But at least I now have like a Shiinotic that, you know, forces those mons to carry the Poison Jab. And this one, you know, Strength Sap, it gives me a Spore User. Really doesn't do much else. It's a Tier 5. What else would you expect? It's a Shiinotic. It's pretty bad. So, but I think this one can just be very annoying if my opponents don't prep right for it, as it can, you know, just Strength Sap, Spore, Giga Drain, Leech Seed, Strength Sap. Actually hits decently hard with Moonblast. And it does have Effect Spore, so if my opponent hits me with a physical move, it has like a 30% chance to, you know, get some sort of effect on it, whether it be like, I think it's like a Paralysis, a Burn. I'm gonna look now. Yeah, but as I said, for a, you know, Tier 5, it has a 30% chance with the Effect Spore, it has a 30% chance of getting a Poison, Paralysis, or Sleep, so, you know, that can be super useful and can always be game winning. So, as I said, as a Tier 5, it's about what you expect. I think it was one of the better Tier 5s that was available, as Tier 5 is, you know, pretty, you know, just wasn't much there. So, for our second to last one, we got Umbreon. Everybody needs a Dark type, no matter what Shuckle King tells you, is so you don't lose to bulky Psychics. And I don't think I lose to that on my draft. Like, I can lose, like, without Umbreon, I actually kind of do lose to, you know, a Calm Mind, Iron Defense, what's it called, Reuniclus. So, you know, this one, you know, can just come in, it's very fat and annoying. It has very good wishes. I mean, I believe it's like base 95 HP. So I can set up a wish, I can protect, I can foul play, I can toxic, I can even baton pass out. Baton passing stats is banned, as that is incredibly broken. But, you know, I can, you know, do dry pass or, you know, pass wishes, as, you know, that's preppable. So I think Umbreon is just a very good fat dark type, especially when I didn't have one. I was surprised to see that it was still there, and I think it fits super well on this team. So for our final mon, we got Ditto. Ditto is a mon I very much love. It is, you know, I love being able to just have a good one that can literally just stop setup sweepers, you know, in prep, because, and it just forces so much prep even if you don't bring it, because if your opponent has a mon that they don't even deal with, like, I can just copy that, have a choice scarf, and, you know, just outspeed everything and kill everything. You know, if my opponents have a setup sweeper, I can come in, steal their stat boost, have a choice scarf to be faster, and, you know, just absolutely demolish their team. So Ditto, you know, just forces so much prep even if it doesn't count. So Ditto, this whole team is about forcing prep with every single mon, as teams have to, you know, bring their ground type for Coco. But I have Seismitoad, I have Mamoswine that, you know, just deals with those very well. They need to bring their bulky Psychics or Fairies for my Mega Medicham. But then I have Gengar, Scizor, Umbreon that deals with, you know, the Psychics very well. But then, you know, Scizor, Gengar deals with the Fairy types. So like, this team is very good at offensively pressuring what other mons struggle with. So I think this team's something I'm very comfortable with, as I've said. I think it's like a me team. It has mons that I think fit my playstyle very well, and I'm super excited to use. I love Gen 7. It's where I got my start in Draft League, back in Sun and Moon, so I'm excited to be back in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. I'm going to try to live comm as much as possible, but I'm going to be honest, I've already played up to week 3, and only week 2 I could live comm, because week 1 I just couldn't get my cap card to work. Week 2 I got it to work, and week 3 I had to watch my dogs, but I still needed to play. So, you know, I obviously couldn't sit at my desk and record. So week 1 and week 3 are going to be post comms. Week 2 is going to be live comms. So thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave down below in the comments on a scale of 1 to 10. You know, 1 being the worst team ever, 10 being the best team ever. What do you think of this team? Check out all the other PMU coaches, and I'll see you later. Peace.